www.easytolearnfrench.com.
Salut! Hi guys, so that's the video 2 about le passé composé for intermediate, elementary intermediate students. So for those of you who are intermediate and students, please stay here. For those of you who are beginner, then check my beginner lessons instead, because that might be a bit too complicated for you, I think. Okay, so we continue with the passé composé. We're gonna see how to make a question with the passé composé. So the passé composé, if it's, for instance, j'ai mangé, then well, actually, if it's tu as mangé, that will be a bit more. Tu as mangé. If it's tu as mangé, then I can just rise up the tone of voice and saying tu as mangé, and that would be my question. Well, that's not grammatically good, but it's used anyway, so that could work. If we just instead of, you can put est-ce que before est-ce que. So I'm not gonna come back on how to make question. That's something you kind of supposed to know. If you don't, then check my other videos about questions, how to make questions, to have a recap. So it's est-ce que tu as mangé? So things here are I would say normal. Nothing exceptional here. Est-ce que tu as mangé? Then if I want to switch the verb and the subject on this kind of way of doing question, then actually I would say, for instance, avez-vous mangé? So you see that actually you switch the past, the auxiliary, sorry, and so you switch the auxiliary and the subject, and the past participle stay here. So it's avez-vous mangé? That's something you can say too. So that was how to make a question with the passé composé. Now we're gonna see where to put the words. Passé composé, there's a lot of small words. There's the auxiliary, there's the negation, there's the complement and the pronoun, things like that. So we're gonna see where what is the order, the words order. So for instance, if I'm saying, for instance, j'ai invité mes amis, then that's my subject, that's my verbs, and here is my complement. It's actually a direct complement here, but we don't really care too much about that now. So it's the subject, my verbs, my complement. Then if I substitute my complement with a pronoun, and then it goes before, then it will have to be je les ai invités. Then it will have to be je les ai invités. So that's my subject, that's my verbs, and that's my complement here. So that's my pronoun, and it goes before the verbs. If, by the way, that's what I said on video 1, if the complement is before, then you do agree and put an S here, because it's the friends, it's before the verb. So it goes here, so it's subject, pronoun, verb. Subject, pronoun, verb. It's any pronoun here, any pronoun. So if the pronoun will be I, or on, or les, or leur, or lui, or whatever, things like that, it would be always here, just after the subject. For those of you who don't know I, on, don't worry, that's all the pronoun. You will learn it later on. I will teach you later on, or you will learn by yourself or with your teacher. I don't know how you learn French, but I will definitely talk about that too. Then, just something, there's a bit of an exception here, which actually makes sense, it's not too hard to understand, but for the verbs which are using infinitive, for instance, vouloir, to want, if I'm saying, for instance, j'ai voulu, I would have to say les invités. Okay? So I wanted to invite them. So that's my verbs, that's my subject, and that my pronoun here. And obviously the pronoun is related to this verb, not to this verb. So it's not I want them, it's I want to invite them. So invite them, not want them. So this pronoun is related to this verb is not related to this verb. So the pronoun is always before the verb. So it would have been here if it would be related to that verb, but because it's related to this verb, then it's here. So it's j'ai voulu les inviter. So be careful. I said this je les ai invités. So it would be before, but in this context, les is about invité. So it goes just before invité and not before that here. So that's what I'm saying, one of the exceptions here. That's something about the pronoun. Then we're gonna see the adverbs. The adverbs, we will, if you don't necessarily really know what an adverb is, again, that's gonna be on another lesson, so don't worry. But at your level, you kind of been aware roughly what is an adverb, or at least you've been taught. So if you don't necessarily remember, well, it's okay, but you must have encountered them already. So with the adverb of quality and quantity, it would be before. Then you will sign. You would say, well, that doesn't work so well, so I'm going to change the pen, and I'll use the blue. You will sign j'ai beaucoup mangé. So it's subject, auxiliaire here, my adverb, so that's auxiliaire, that's my adverb, and that's my past participle, okay? So beaucoup comes before, because it's quality, quantity adverb. So you could say j'ai mal mangé, that's quality, so I ate badly, I would say, or bad things, so mal mangé. So that would be just before the past participle. So it's between the auxiliary and the past participle for the quality and quantity adverbs. If it's a time or space related adverb, like early, late, outside, inside, things like that, then it's after. So you would say, for instance, j'ai mangé dehors, outside, dehors. J'ai mangé dehors. J'ai mangé tard. I ate late, like late time, yeah. So j'ai mangé dehors. That's the thing. You will have to sign and not j'ai dehors mangé. So it's dehors after because it's time and space related adverbs are after. Quality and quantity adverbs are before. Sorry, I just picked up my cloth here to wipe my board. So that's something. Now we're gonna see the negation of whole of that. So the negation, how to put these sentences in negation form. So what you need to know is, for instance, if it's negative, then it would be je. Sorry, it's je n'ai pas mangé. So you have to know that it's the negation sandwich the auxiliaire here. So that's my negation. And so the pas goes in between the auxiliaire and the past participle. So that is je n'ai pas mangé. Anything here instead of the pas will be exactly the same place. So if it's instead of the pas, it will be jamais, never, or plus, anymore. So that's anymore, jamais, never, and so on. Rien, nothing. That goes here as well. So it's substitute pas, so it goes in between the auxiliaire and the past participle. That's the place where you need to put these negation words. Then there's an exception for personne. Personne goes after. If I'm saying, for instance, je n'ai rencontré, so that's to meet. So I haven't meet or I didn't meet anybody, personne. So personne goes after, so after the past participle, and that's my auxiliaire here. That's my negation. And that's my subject, so the negation goes after the verbs here, after the past participle. If it's pas, plus, jamais, rien, blah, blah, it's before. If it's personne, it's after. That's one of the exceptions of the negation. If it's a reflexive verb, like pronominal verbs, then it respects the same logic than the normal one. Je ne me suis pas je ne me suis pas levé. I didn't get up. Je ne me suis pas levé. So you could see that's the negation. the ne is just after the subject, so that's normal, and the pas goes in between the auxiliary and the past participle, so that's normal. It's first the negation, then the pronoun, then the auxiliary, then the negation, then the past participle. So that's something you can remember. If you're using a pronoun like I used it before with my friend I invite them, so it was je les ai invités, I said, that was, then it would be je ne les ai pas invités. So once again, that respect the logic, pas between the auxiliary and the past participle, and ne just before the pronoun. So je ne les ai pas invités. Yeah, that's it. So that's the negation, and with the pronoun you saw how to put the pronoun, we saw the negation, we saw the exceptions of negations and the exceptions of the pronoun, and we saw the question, and we saw the adverb. Then with the adverb, the negation with the adverb, I'm just gonna give you that. That's gonna be the last thing I will teach you today. So it is je n'ai pas beaucoup mangé. Je n'ai pas beaucoup mangé. So pas is in between the auxiliary and the past participle, but as well as the adverb, so it's first the negation, then the adverb. Here past participle, here my auxiliary, here my negation, here my subject. So it's subject, negation, auxiliary, negation, adverb, past participle. Je n'ai pas beaucoup mangé. That's something. Je n'ai pas beaucoup mangé. If it's an adverb of time and space, as I said, that it goes after, then it will be je n'ai pas mangé dehors. I didn't eat outside. I haven't eaten outside. So that's that respect the logic. Okay, pas in between the auxiliary and the past participle, and this adverb, because it's a time and space related, then goes after, as I said. So yeah, that's it. I think I said everything. I said everything for the Passé Composé. You can have a good recap here about this Passé Composé. I hope that was help. I hope I helped you, and if you like it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe at my channel. And I see you guys next time. Bye. Au revoir.